up and just get to quicker, better results. Because as we know with wholesaling, the main thing that matters is volume and consistency. The average deal last year we closed was $19,000. And if we could close that every day, I'm pretty fucking rich. And the only way to get it every day is with the right systems, processes, people, and fucking AI agents. So you guys got to make sure that you are diving in and you're doing it for the right reasons, doing it for yourself. And then once you guys have the right systems, processes, people, and AI agents in place, I mean, fuck, the business is going to look really good. But sometimes just know when you do these things, you do have to take a couple steps back to take 1,000 steps forward. So the business might take hits when you're doing it, and you kind of have to be okay with that sometimes. So that's where we at. We're having fun. We're having fun.
Absolutely. Can't agree with the few steps back because you will feel stupid, and that's okay.
Oh
So
yeah.
get over yourself, feel stupid. There is infinite information out there. You can even put AI to go out on YouTube, pull transcripts, give you the bullet points. You could use AI for literally everything. You can get thousands of pieces of information distilled down in only a few hours, right? So it's gonna cause every business owner, if used, exponential growth, or they're gonna get buried alive. So
Uh,
I'm really like
There's
I stress every business owner I know. I'm like, yo, how's AI going? What are you doing? Where are you at with it? You want to like keep them up to date because you're doing your friends that might own businesses a disservice without it, man. AI is super important right now.
yeah. 100%.
it's so
It is
good.
crucial.
I was telling my wife she works for a closet design company out here in Utah, and I mean, man, listen, we don't got to get into it. Love them, they're all great, but they're still cutting paper checks. You know what I mean? So I know they're not working with AI, and I said, babe, I'm pretty confident that any company that's not iterating with AI in the next 3 to 5 years is going to be out of business. I don't care the industry. I don't care what industry you're in. Yeah, if you're not using and incorporating AI in as many possible ways today and starting to learn how it's all going to work, eh, we're going to be building tombstones for all of those businesses soon. It's going to be a large graveyard of businesses that no longer exist. That's just the way the world's going. You can scream into the wind all you want about it, but while you're screaming, just make sure your fingers are going like this on your computer and you're learning how to use it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Exciting times, that's for sure.
It is exciting times, guys, and that's why you gotta just make sure you're staying into it. But what we don't have too much time today. Got about another 30 for you guys today, but what I wanted to get into is literally understanding buyers in the dispo seat. So there's a lot of people that I've trained in the dispo seat in the last 3 years, myself included in the last six. And it's very easy in the dispo seat to get discouraged on a deal because you're going to get told that your deal sucks. You're going to get lowballed like crazy. And it's just part of the business. It's like you kind of have to expect it when you're in dispo. So I kind of just wanted to get today into just the mindset. Like basically, how do we look at things? When do we listen to buyers? And essentially, how do we get in a place where like even if a buyer lowballs us when we thought they were the buyer for the deal, how do we still make them the buyer for that deal? Because we had a deal. I mean, look, we didn't close the deal because we couldn't deliver a clear title, but we got a buyer from 60K to 120K. He offered 60K. My initial dispo rep did not want to call him back. They were like, "All right, not interested. Let's just move on to the next." And I'm like, they offered 60K. Like, let's go. Like, they made an offer, which means they're obviously interested. Does it mean that we're going to accept their 60 grand offer? Absolutely not. We can't. We have the contract way higher. But how do we get that buyer up? And what are ways so that we cannot get emotional or upset about it or start judging the deal, what I call, because that's the biggest thing that always happens. It's like, second someone makes a low offer, I'll hear dispo people be like, oh, well, fucking, yeah, I thought it was going to go this way. It's not a deal. I don't know what we can do about it, but probably not going to be a deal. Let's just move on to others. When are we going to cancel this one, Joey? Why don't we go for a price reduction? I'm like, price reduction? that's their first offer. Let me ask Jordan, let me ask you this. When you're as a wholesaler, when you're making a cash offer on a deal, is your first offer your best offer?
Oh no, never. I mean, I know depends on the space and who you're talking to. Some people don't like the abbreviation MAO, right? Max allowable offer. I typically do that in my underwriting just on my notes so I know where my cap is, and that's usually somewhere that leaves me 20 to 15K of room. But I'm usually offering $10,000 to $20,000 below where that number is. And I on my team we call it the gut punch offer. I don't punch them in the gut. The goal is that we hit them so low that when we hit them where we need to be, they're like, you know what, it's less than I wanted, but sounds reasonable. But the thing that can happen also is they might accept the gut punch offer, but yeah, no, we never just come in right where we need to be. We always come in lower.
So would it be safe to assume that there's a reason that you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why do you do that?
Just to elaborate a little bit more is because let's say I'm confident I could sell it at 160. I want to make a 20K fee, so I need to be around 140. If I hit them at 120, it's going to make 140 sound a whole lot better. If I hit them at 140, they're going to ask me to do 150. If I hit them at 120, they might say, well, can you do 135? Absolutely. Or they might say, can you do 150? And then I can start to negotiate, fall back at 130, and then we just kind of seesaw until we get somewhere that works for me. But I mean, if you come in right where you need to be, you're just kind of fucked right out of the gate if they intend to negotiate at all. It might be 2 times out of 10, they just say yes to your number. Probably more like 0.5 times out of 10, they're just going to say yes to your number. It doesn't happen very often.
100%. 100%. Ross, what do you think a buyer's first offer is? When you're in the dispo seat and a buyer's making you an offer, are you just like, okay, cool, they offered 10 grand and that's it? Or where's your mind at with this?
I have a different approach because I say suggested starting price or I say starting price on the marketing. So I'll either get like a few offers or sometimes none at all, right? So I work the deals a little bit different because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the best buyers on the phone, which are the busiest people. So I work the shit out of like the neighborhood they're in. Like I'm beating up their phones. I'm hitting it from other numbers. And I'm like, we ran our numbers. This is reno. This is the square footage. This is, it's going to be heavy reno, etc. So we're running our numbers as good as possible and saying this is the suggested starting price. And I'm only making that typically like, depending on the price point of the deal, like 17.5 to like 35K above. Like 35K would be more acceptable in the $300,000 to $500,000 range, right? And then like 17.5 would be more acceptable in like the 150 to maybe 250 range. You know what I'm saying? So it's deal specific, but I basically say like, hey, this is the starting price. This is where we're beginning, right? And a lot of the buyers will come in and they'll be like maybe 5K below, and I'll just remain silent on the line when they give me that offer.
Which means you're not accepting it, correct?
Yeah, I just let them fill in the dead air and negotiate against themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like for instance, they'll be like, "All right, let's say 145K is suggested starting price," and they're like, I could do." They're actually pretty close. A lot of them, I could do like 135.
Okay.
And then just silence.
In my experience, because obviously we do Dispo different, I get a lot of deals we move. The first 10 offers, they're not even real offers yet because they're just like, this is where I pay for it. We're selling it at 100K. They're all coming in at 50. Right. And it's like, when that happens, what I've seen is most people lose faith in the deal at that point. Because it's like, okay, well, the first 10 people I spoke to are not interested, and they're all, if they had to buy it, they would buy it at 50K. And then now I go into, well, are they the buyer for the deal? right? Because like they might only buy it at 50K. It's almost like the same illusion as the seller, right? The sellers that don't want to sell, they would sell for $1 million, right? They would sell for 500 grand if their house is worth 50. No shit, they'd sell for 500 grand. Anyone would. Like if I told Jordan right now I'll pay you $1 million for your house, he'd fucking sell it with no. I mean, you're selling your house, it's different. But anyways, if you weren't, you would sell in 2 fucking seconds for $1 million. It's not even a question. And buyers do the same shit. Think about this. Like they are buyers. So then it's like what I hear the Dispo rep ask is like, well, if you had to make an offer, where would you be? Because they're trying to get their offers up. And then they'll be like, oh, I'd be at 50K. And it's like, cool. But I don't buy in this neighborhood. This is a shitty area. So like I would have to buy it at 50K for me to buy it. You know what I mean? So that's usually what it is. And when we have a buyer that makes a low offer, the first thing I want to know is, well, what happened? Before I even get into any negotiation, like tell me what you're thinking. Why are you coming in at 50K? Then once I know what you're thinking, now I either know you are just not the buyer for the deal. Then I would maybe say, well, if the price made sense, would you buy in this area? And if they're like, no, like this is not my zip code. I fucking hate this neighborhood. Like last time I did a deal in this neighborhood, my fucking ladder got stolen. And I don't want that to happen again. So I'm just done investing here. And it's like, cool. So no shit, you pay 50K. Cool. Thank you. I'm going to call the next person now. I'll send you more deals we get though. And then it's finding the right buyer. Like we literally have buyers that fucking, we have a deal right now that everyone's like 10K, 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 10K. And I'm like, okay, do you buy in this neighborhood? They're like, no, I hate it here. Okay. Or they're just like, this neighborhood sucks. This neighborhood sucks. Like every single buyer is telling you this is a shit area, right? And then it's very easy to be like, okay, well, it's a shit area. Well, how do you move the deal then? I had a deal I remember in Cumberland last year, and Cumberland, Maryland, could not move this deal to save our lives. Literally 2 months of marketing this shit. Seller ended up giving us more time. We ended up finding the buyer. Like the guy, he literally only buys in this one fucking neighborhood. We found him, he fucking bought it. It's like, that's why I'm always, you need to move with speed in this business, right? Like it's very, very, very important. But you also, like in the Dispo seat, you're looking for a needle in a haystack on every single deal. And that needle in the haystack is the only one that's going to buy that deal at your price. There are going to be times where you have a deal and like you get 5-10 offers and fucking it's flying off the shelves because it was just a beautiful deal. But not every deal is going to sell like that, even if you're in good areas. It's just how it goes. So it's like, how do you sell the normal deals? Not the ones that are like that 1 out of every 10 deals that's just going to fucking go in like 3-4 days.
Let me ask you this, Joey. Are your closers using Dispo software prior to locking up the deal?
Yes, now they are. We're looking at investor base. We're the way that we comp is going from where the buyers buy. So if there's no buyers in this fucking market, we're not locking up the deal at all.
Don't lock it up unless you're seeing a lot of traction on the MLS for shit boxes, essentially.
Exactly.
But if you're reverse engineering every deal and you're finding the buyer or 3 buyers that are cranking out deals left and right, and you're using that and getting conservative with your numbers and putting it under contract well below what you know they're paying, that deal is going to sell. In addition to getting the paperwork ready for it to go on the MLS, and I use that as leverage on the buyers. So not only this is the suggested starting price, let me know if you want to walk it and make an offer before it goes on the MLS.
100%.
And that's, as soon as they come in with any sort of offer that's close or slightly under, I'm like, well, my partner, they actually are going to put this up on the MLS, and I'll just say whatever price, X price, and it'll be like 25 or 35K above their offer. So now their offer looks like shit, and I just high anchored them, and then you'd be funny. They jump up to your price very quickly.
That's how you can, or sometimes what I've learned too, like they could be the guy in that area and they still, like Jordan just had an offer. The guy told him 140. Jordan went and ran the comps and he found a comp down the street that sold less than a month ago for fucking 180. So it's like, sometimes it's also like, it if they are the guy in that market, they buy fucking 10 properties a month in this neighborhood, you're fucked. You're not convincing them, right? Like they might not be the guy for this deal. But if they say 140 and you know damn well that shit is 180, you sell the deal by showing them how it is 180. Like on a deal like that, I call that selling with numbers. I don't get into that up front. That's what I'll do like last resort.
Right.
But if it's like, okay, like you walked the property, you knew it needed a full rehab, nothing came back different on the rehab, and now you're offering lower than my contract price, but you're saying the ARV is 40K under. If I can prove to you that the ARV is 40K higher, technically you pay 40K more for my fucking deal, and I'm only asking you pay 10K or 20K more. So now I'm giving you more equity that you could actually make on a deal like this.
Yeah.
That's how you sell those deals. And mentally, though, the point of this was getting into the mindset of the Dispo person, right? I'm teaching you guys how to sell it, but I also want to get into the mindset. How do you not get discouraged when on a deal, or let's times it by 5, you have 5 deals on your desk, and every buyer's telling you you have a shit deal, but the numbers are there. There was data that backed it. There's fucking buyers that have paid 40K in that market, and you're selling it at 35. How do you keep your mindset in the right place so that you can go and actually fucking sell that deal? Because if you don't believe in the deal, if you start listening to what every buyer's saying, and you're like, yeah, I know we got locked up too high. I probably should sell for 20K. That's the highest offer I got was 20K. I think that's where it's going to sell at. But my manager's just making me market this thing, trying to get offers as high as they can. And yeah, I just think we got to be at fucking 20K for this one. But yeah, can you be at 40K? They're going to be like, you don't even believe that this was sell for 40K. Why the fuck would I pay 40K for that? And I might be exaggerating on what they're saying, but like, you sound like that if you don't believe in the deal. So what are some tactical things, Jordan, Ross, we could give people that will show them how to fucking, what I call, uninsert their head from their ass and not blame the deal until it's literally off their desk, whether it's canceled, price reduced, or assigned?
I mean, specific tactics. My mind went immediately to just blind persistence, right? And it's just like blind faith in the deal at the numbers that you're at, and then just go talk to everybody who's purchased a property in that area. And then if we get to the end of the list, at that point, maybe we reconsider from the avenue of a price reduction, right? But I know you and I have discussed in the past, I don't even want to talk about a price reduction with the seller until I have probably a minimum of 5 offers on the table. I'd like more than 5, maybe 7 would be nice, all coming in at the same spot. So let's say I'm asking 90 for a deal and I've got 6 offers after 6 walkthroughs and everybody's coming in at 65. Maybe we reassess at that time. Until then, let's get to the 6 offers on the table and the 6 walkthroughs, because what that also does is it provides you with ammunition when you're talking to the seller. One thing I found is when you just call a seller and say, hey, I just want to be at a lower price. And they're like, no. Why? And you're like, oh, well, just because I think it'll be easier. I want to make more money. I want my fee to be larger. They're like, kick rocks, buddy. I got 2 people in my phone right now who want to buy it at the price you're at. So if you don't want it, just release me. So I really do think it's just almost stubbornness, like it's bordering stubbornness that you need. You just got to keep banging the lines, calling the buyers, getting the walkthrough set up until you get a clear answer one way or another. Until you have a clear picture, I don't think you know what you're dealing with.
My favorite thing is when we do end of day meeting every day, right? And we'll go over every deal, like how's this deal going? How's that deal going? My favorite thing is when I get a report back and they're like, yeah, like every single buyer's not interested in this deal. I'm going to keep pushing it. I'll keep pushing it, but like no one's interested right now. And then I go and look into CRM and there's 15 people in interested buyer bucket still. I'm like,
time to learn how to read.
like But what it is that day they were calling on like the inquires, and every inquirer was like, "Yeah, I don't buy here. This is a shitty area. This isn't a deal. This isn't a deal. This isn't a deal. This isn't a deal. You suck. I suck. Blah 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 blah." And then by the end of the day, they're just like, "This isn't a deal," and I'm like. Like, did you look at the fucking data? Like, it's right. Like, there's 15 guys that are still looking at this. What's up with the 15? And they're like, oh, they still haven't answered yet. I'm like, do you have follow-ups with them? It's like, yeah, I'm actually calling a guy tomorrow that might want to walk it. And I'm like, so my question is not my question. I'll just give you guys my tactical way of doing it. The deal isn't over. What I always say is it ain't over till the fat lady sings, and I ain't singing yet. And it's like you have to get to a point where when you're in the dispo seat, you have to be fucking delusional. Like straight up, that is what it takes. You do not listen to anything that is said to you until you have had some walkthroughs or every single buyer is exhausted and every single buyer in that deal is like, your deal sucks. But typically, you'll know that after the first week or two. And then you still need to get them into the property to walk it to get the price reduction if that comes up. But it's so funny because I've had so many times where like deals aren't deals and everyone's like, this isn't a deal, this isn't a deal, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks. And then 2 weeks in, 14th day, boom, buyer wants to walk it. They're making an offer. Now we're selling the deal. Fucking don't even need to get the price reduction. We're actually selling it for full ask. Your job in Dispo is not to judge the deal. You are not the judge. You're not the jury. That is not your position in the Dispo seat. Your position is the marketer. It is to get that deal in front of as many people as you physically can until you find that needle in the haystack. And then once you find them, then you sell them. Then you close them. But you have to find them first. And if you're just going off the first 10 people, like the strategy Ross says works very well. We've sold many deals the way that Ross taught us to do it as well. But what happens if those guys are not buying a deal right now because they just bought those last 3 deals, right? That doesn't mean it's not a deal. I've still sold the deal to other people that don't buy in that specific neighborhood. And that's why for us, Ross would go on the MLS. We are starting to go on the MLS, but we're also staying off market and just finding the goddamn buyer because we have every data source to get them. So if you guys want to sell your deals and you want to actually have success in the dispo seat and not only sell the easy low-hanging fruit deals, but sell every fucking deal that you put under contract, which you spend marketing dollars on, so you better get a fucking return on it. You spent time on, so you better get a return on that. You get it from consistently, persistently, delusionally marketing that fucking deal like it is the best thing since sliced bread every time you have a buyer on the phone. And if it's fucking in the hood, you tell them it's in the hood. But you're not like, yeah, this isn't a shit location. You're like, no, this thing's in the hood. If you buy in areas like this would be a perfect deal for you, but it's going to take a buyer that buys in this area that is going to buy it. But you're getting this thing so cheap, and fucking the cash flow you can get on this thing or the return you can get on a flip, whatever the type of deal it is, it's going to make you guys some money. This is something that you guys can make money on. And that's how you sell them. It really does go as simple as that.
I'm gonna lay out some gold right here. You ready? You ready for my exact process for shit shows like this? I don't really get into the mindset stuff too much on the dispo side because it is more numbers driven, factual, and the deal's got to work. So if you were to do mindset stuff, number one is put yourself in the seat of a buyer, and you have to sell yourself this deal. Why would you buy this deal? If you would not buy this deal, it's typically not a deal. So find out all the reasons first why you would buy the deal. That's the mindset hat you got to wear first. Step one is this: mandatory huddle with acquisitions. You're going to go to the closer who locked it up. They are going to walk you through how they arrived at their number and why it's a deal. Then after that, you're going to take that. You, as Dispo, are going to walk them through how you arrived at your number and how it might not be a deal, right? And that needs to happen quick, and we got to hash that out. Step 2, pictures. Photos need to happen as soon as possible. I don't care how you're getting photos. The better photos you get, the faster the deal will sell. If you can get video walkthroughs, way better. And if you even go to the point of getting a 3D Matterport walkthrough, which is expensive, those deals are going to sell. They're going to fly off the shelves because those are going to be the sight unseen buyers. Okay. Next is data. This is step 3. Pull offers out of the best buyers in the market, even if they're not buying right now. They might be the perfect buyer, but is the timing right? So we want to pull offer. I understand it's not the time. I understand you don't want this. That's totally fine. But if you were to purchase this, where would you need to be at for this to make sense? Pull offers out relentlessly. Step 4, get flat fee MLS paperwork going. If you need a notarized AIF, whatever you need to do, that paperwork needs to go to the seller or to a UPS store, and that needs to go in the background. Expect to put it on the MLS if you're starting to get negative feedback within the first 3 days. Step 5, 7-day reductions. You need to do a reduction every fucking 7 days. With keeping in mind, if a reduction call needs to be, if that needs to happen with the homeowner, make sure you're doing that within the first 10 to 14 days rather than after 2 weeks, because they get fucking pissed. If they find out bad news, the sooner to the day you locked it up under contract, the higher the likelihood of the reduction happening. You want to prep acquisitions. Whoever has more rapport with the seller, they would do the reduction call. And then all the shit hits the fan. You can't get a reduction, and none of the buyers are biting, and you beat the shit out of those lists, and you have all the data posted on the MLS with the best pictures possible. And then on any other marketing, rotate pictures. And that's a great way to get the deal sold.
Fuck yeah.
Mic drop.
The acquisition huddles are huge, so they understand. Like, we always do a deal review, go over the deal, make sure Dispo understands what they're getting into, TC knows what they have to do. That part's fucking huge. All of it, every part of that. Throwing it on the MLS, that makes a gigantic difference on these deals. And just having a process, moving. The thing I've noticed is we just had to get a price reduction, but it took way too long for us to get this one, like 3-4 weeks into the deal. Seller was not happy. He gave us a price reduction, but not fucking happy. And it's like, to get these deals done, you need to fucking move with speed. Speed is what's going to make everything work. The only thing I will say, though, this is where I'd say, not I disagree with Ross, but this is where I've seen our deals sell the most, is with the feedback, with everything, in that seat, you have to keep your mind in the right place on that deal every single time. Like, it's a buyer's job. Just like we're saying, understand the buyers, understand where they can make their money. If I know every buyer has fucking made their money at 40K in this fucking market, and I'm selling my deal at 40, there's a reason that they all sold on average at 40, right? There's also a reason why they're always going to start at 20, maybe 15. And you got to be ready for it. Like, what most people do, where most people fuck up in Dispo, is that 20K offer comes in. Let's say they walk it and they come and make the 20K offer. Like, they're a real buyer. They're serious. They want to buy this thing. Do you accept that offer? Doesn't mean you're just like staying silent and then that's it. I mean, like, are you going to go to war for this fucking deal right now? I've gone to war for my deals, and that's what gets the buyers up. We've had many deals where, like, my Dispo team comes in at 25K offer, 20K offer. They're like, Joey, I tried everything I could. They're not coming up. I get on the fucking phone. They come up to 40. I'm not a magician. I'm not special. I just do not give up on that fucking deal. Like, we've been 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks into the deal, and I still am with that same level of belief getting them fucking up. The reason that it happens is because up here, I need the deals to work for us to get paid, right? Like the higher I can get you, the more money we're gonna make. And I also understand that you as a buyer are going to lowball me. It's your fucking job. Ross, if you're going to buy a house right now and it's offered for 40, are you offering 40?
Whoa, single family? No way. It never happened.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, of course, you're coming in. You're just like the seller is going to high anchor us, right? That's their job. Oh, I think it's worth this, right? The buyer's job is to beat us down on price. Once you understand that and you just get over it and have stay objective, be the referee in the middle, and then believe in the deal. Have such strong belief in the deal and evidence-based belief. And just like you have to paint that picture where the seller is going to get that hands-off experience, you got to paint that picture for the buyer that this is going to be a low friction deal and they're going to make a ton of profit. And it's a great area to invest in. So we got to paint that picture for the buyer. If the buyer's not seeing the end outcome and their piggy bank filling up and overflowing as a result of this deal, they ain't going to buy it. So we need that urgency, and you have to paint that picture for both parties in different ways.
100%. You just got to, in the dispo seat, like, it should be expected that the low ball is coming in. Nothing else. Like, just because they hit you at 20K at that 40K offering does not mean they're not going to buy your deal at 40K. So get that through your head. Doesn't mean they're always going to buy your deal at 40K either, obviously. But doesn't mean they're not either. So, like, you guys got to get to a point where when you're in the dispo seat and you're on these phones, like, if someone offers me 20K, I'm going to be like, okay, well, first of all, can't do 20K if I'm being honest with you. We literally have the contract higher than that, and no one gets paid. I know it makes sense for you there, but what's got you coming in at 20K? And then we get into the negotiation from there. And that's just the first offer. Like, fuck, I could get them up to, if they're at 20K and my contract's at 30, I'm smiling and knowing I'm in the green. That's how delusional I am with my deals. And you know what? They come up to fucking 40. Why does that happen? Because I don't let up. I'm like, dude, we're only 20 grand apart. I'll give you guys one last little negotiation tip. We're going to get into our event really quick, and then we're going to get the fuck out of here because I know Jordan has to go at 45. Don't sell the 40, sell the 20.
Mm-hmm.
What everyone tries to do is sell the fucking 40. They already are convinced that they're good at 20K, which means you only have to convince them to come up 20 more K. You don't have to convince them to come up to 40K. Literally, they have to come up to 40K, but you don't sell the 40, you sell the 20. Think about how much easier it is to sell 20K than it is to sell 40K. Right. If I was selling a 20K mentorship versus a 40K mentorship, I guarantee you a lot more people would sign up for the 20K than the 40K. Why is that? Because it's cheaper. So psychologically, you already have them sold at that 20. Now it's just finding the way to sell them on the extra 20. Once you find that way, it's just finding 20 more grand for them. Like the example with the guy with Jordan, he said 140K ARV. Jordan, you don't have to sell 180. You have to sell the 40K difference. Like, you have to show them it's 180. Once you show them it's 180, wherever the offer came in at, you just, let's say you want to make 20 more K or 20K on the deal, sell the 20. Be like, dude, let's say to be conservative, you could be at 160. This comp sold for 180. It sold less than a month ago. Is the same exact specs as our house and it was fully redone. What is your plan with this house? Are you going to fully redo the house? And they're like, yeah. It's like, cool. So if you're going to fully redo it, it's going to sell at the 180 that this one sold at. But let's say it only sells for 160. All I need you to do is meet me at 30K, for example, 26K, whatever that 20K difference is. And you meet me there, and maybe you win and you make the extra 20. Fuck. But you're saying it could be at 140. I know it could sell at 180. Let's meet at 160 and let's get this thing sold. And you sell the 20 right there. And there you have it. Now you fucking literally can get them up to 20 more K if you can prove that it at least can sell for 160. That right there, you just literally got them up 20K. That is how we get these buyers up, guys. You sell the 20, not the 40. So really quick, Jordan, why don't we talk about this event that we might just be doing in a month from today exactly?
Ooh, the season is nigh upon us, my brethren. Yeah, let's do it, man. I mean, May 15th through the 17th, we will be in Medellin, Colombia, throwing what is going to be a life-changing event for every human being in attendance, including the three of us here, all the speakers, the sponsors, the attendees, anybody who happens to walk by and hear the conversations being had at this event. This is going to be an event focused on wholesaling, yes, real estate, yes, but also massive levels of personal development, self growth, self development, a little bit of social media game, and it's going to be incredible. I don't think I could be more excited. I mean, I'm thinking about how excited I used to be for Christmas as a child, and I think my excitement for this event outshines that 20-fold. It's going to be an unforgettable time. I really feel that way. I feel like I'm going to remember this event and this trip to Colombia for the entirety of my lifespan on this planet post event. And I hope to see every single person there that can make it. Get your passport. Let's have some fun. Let's grow.
Nice. Nice.
Yes. The premise is getting the fuck out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all might hear, holy shit, Colombia. I thought you meant like Columbia, South Carolina. You said Colombia, the country. That's right. You need a passport. You got to get on a plane for a minute. You got to come out to a place where most everybody does not speak English, your native tongue. And it's going to burst your comfort bubble from so many ways. The pins are going to be coming in from every angle, popping the bubble. And now you're just uncomfortable for the duration of your time in Colombia, but then you're going to be subjected to information, speeches, masterminds, high levels of cognitive thinking that you've not been exposed to yet while you're outside of your comfort zone, which means your brain is going to retain all of that information. And when you come home, you're going to be ready to apply master level, A level game into whatever avenue that you are pursuing in your life at this time. Real estate, business, personal development, fitness, faith, family, relationships, all of it. Come grow with us, man. It's going to be incredible.
Well said. Well said.
I love it.
Thank you.
I
Excited.
love it. So I am too. Make sure you guys get your fucking tickets. I'm gonna put the link in the comments. Russ, what were you saying?
Dude, it's coming up crazy fast. Like today was a gut punch in a good way. 1 month from today. Let's not think about tax day. Screw tax day, right? Nobody wants to deal with that. Get an extension, figure that shit out October 15th. Yeah, that's what I do. I do the auto extensions. We're good. Hopefully no employees of the IRS are watching this. But in an amazing way, we're 1 month away. Everybody's excited for this. Flights are booked. Airbnbs are booked. We got the mansion booked. This is going to be massive. Like, you have no idea how much this can change. Transformation is getting a divorce from your previous self. That is going to happen here.
God damn.
Just remember that. That's going to happen here. Get that divorce from your previous self. 1 month out, no comfort, Medellin, MEDELLIN, 2026.com. Get your tickets. Joey has been amazing giving some discount codes, but it's been just incredible. Like, this has been a lot to put together. The list is growing. The speakers are amazing. Everybody's there to level up. And I don't know, I can't wait to pop my Columbia bubble too. It's been years in the making of wanting to get there. Finally, the thought with the decision will turn it into a reality, and that's what we're all doing there. That's what we're all doing. Taking action.
Manifesting at the highest degree. Let's get it, man.
Just remember, guys, it takes one shift in your mind to change the trajectory of your entire career. All that is all it's going to take. It takes one connection to change the trajectory of your entire career. People are coming out here that are at the highest of levels of business. They're going to be on the stage. They're going to be coming out to support everything. You guys got to get your tickets and get your asses out here. It's going to be worth every penny you spend. You literally just got to get the tickets. Get the fuck out of your comfort zone. That's the point of this event. And it starts with making the commitment and saying, yes, I'm going to come out. That's where it starts. So I'll see you guys here. We'll be going live a couple more times throughout the week. And everybody remember, don't blame the deals. Keep your heads out of your asses. And the low offers are going to come. Expect them. Just fucking get them up. Stop being soft. That's all you got to do. So I'll see you guys on the next live. Peace the fuck out, everybody.
Lucy.